Chiefs here. They're even aware of it. LCO here, and that is the ultimate connected.
Themselves into a false hope. Final 3 minutes off, he's gone!
Only player to lock in this lane. There is just no damage for the Chiefs. Braden gets the first pick to kill of the LCO.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another beautiful evening of the DoorDash LCO. Of course, I am Mac, chilling on this beautiful Super Week Friday, first of many coming up tonight. And look, we've got a banger couple of games as well. There's some top-of-the-table clashes, as well as some very, very close ones on the schedule. But before we jump into this Super Week, this casual bloody Friday, let's look back at Wednesday and see what happened there.
Gravitas looking for the end.
Well, Legacy's going to have to do something about it. Mega Inferno Bomb goes right on top of Safa, but he was safe. Didn't take any damage, and I just don't see it coming through right now for Legacy. Nexus is open. Gravitas looking for it, looking for another win on the board, and there they have it. Legacy will move to 3 and 5, and Gravitas to 5 and 3.
Mammoth
Disappear.
have just picked a bush. They have picked the smallest bush.
Well, they waited patiently for the dragon, and now they've got it. See if they can actually secure it. This could be a big for Kevy. Mega Inferno Bomb combined with Kevy's Smite results in an Ocean Soul for Order.
And Chiefs have picked a bush. They've been spotted in the bush by a sweeper. And unfortunately, that's it. Fights on.
Well, Babip decides now is the time to go, and he does go, but he's really running around in the Baron Pit or the Dragon Pit, not doing a whole lot, so he's going to have to wait. See what Chiefs can do with that time. Again, another good shockwave from Halo, and Appy will exterminate Dragku. Now it's on. Babip joins the fight once again. Appy, essentially 2 versus 1, and he's winning it. And in the end, there isn't really a whole lot here for the Chiefs. Here, but there's barely any damage going down on top of him. The ultimate was too good, keeping him alive, and then to the back line goes Claire. He's got a huge shield to play with. Shock on the flank is going to be a factor in just a second. Biopanther down, Decoy down. Frontline is gone for Pentanet, and they are on the ropes. They're running, they're doing what they can. Pabu might try to turn. He's really got no other option, but that's never going to work.
Crazy. A couple of games over on Wednesday, and I dare say we're going to see exactly the same thing this evening, so it's going to be a damn good Friday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I do bring in the other two beautiful boys that are going to be casting your games this evening, I have a quick announcement for you guys. You know, yes, you've been sending in your content. Yes, we love you guys from the fans, but you don't need to just watch it here on Twitch, all right? You can watch it also over on YouTube. You can go have a look at all the sick content we've been doing on Facebook as well as Instagram. So make sure you go follow all of the socials to be up to date with everything that's going on, and consume as much as you can, because that's what we want you to do, and that's what keeps us going. Now, I do hear someone in my ear. I think, Rusty, was that you? Having a little bit of a laugh, having a little bit of a chuckle, huh?
Me? I would never. I don't laugh. I definitely wasn't laughing at my own casting from that highlights package, Matt. Not at all.
Oh, and Skimmy, you're here as well. You're looking pretty. You're looking
Look, mate.
just pretty.
Yeah, look, my stylist, they went through the wardrobe. They said, look, we're going to break the budget. We're going to get something a little bit fresh and fancy. I'm not sure the name they call this. I think they call it like Floral Nights, something really ambiguous
You're at a
and
beauty
edgy.
salon, mate. You're ready to get a face mask on.
Look, I'm leaning back, reclining. I'm on holiday, mate. It's Friday.
Yeah, it certainly is a damn good Friday. You just, every time you lean back, you just get so far away from the camera.
I get so small, don't I? I'm just gone.
It's just like
But
teeny, little old cute Skimmy over there. Now, let's have a quick look at the standings, where the teams are currently all sitting, before we do talk too much about what's going to be happening today. So, Peace and Chiefs tied up there at first. Third, we've got Gravitas and Order. Pentanet in 5th. Direwolves in 6th with Legacy there. And Mammoth still hunting for that first dub. 0 and 8 currently for them. So, bit unfortunate start to the second round of the games. But it should be uphill from here. We've seen some things we've liked, haven't we, Skimmy?
We certainly have. I mean, as you say, the second round robin has commenced. On Wednesday was the repeat of what started off in week 1. The only upset really from those results that did not repeat itself was the fact that Direwolves got a much needed win, their first ever actually, against Pentanet for the year. And outside of that, everything was business as usual. So coming into today, where we're going to see if we can continue with that narrative. Do we have the predictions? Do we have the favorites? We started off thinking that way. We were all on the same bandwagon, but then weeks 2 and 3, we start to get a little bit muddied and think, hang on a minute, who knows what the middle of the pack looks like?
And Rusty, we have some banger games coming up today, so we'll quickly run through them, and you tell me which one's your favorite. 6 p.m. we got Direwolves going head-to-head with Gravitas as the first game of the night. Following that, 7 p.m. Peace and Pentanet on the menu. If you're hungry as well, exclamation DoorDash in chat. Make sure you go get yourself some dinner because it's a Friday. Kick your legs up. Get comfortable with us here on the show, and I'm sure that the teams are going to put on a good show for you guys as well. The Chiefs and Mammoth there at 8 p.m. and then at 9 p.m. Legacy going head-to-head with Order. But Rusty, which one's the best game?
Oh, I mean, it's actually... So everyone's eyes will go to Pentanet.gg versus Peace for Game 2, right? But it's such an interesting match to really dive into. For me, however, I would say that Game 1, given form from yesterday, has the potential to be the banger of the night. Probably is going to be the best game. But I'm also keeping my eyes peeled on Game 4, because there's a high chance that if Legacy don't get affected by their loss on Wednesday, they could come in and give us a real barn burner to deal with.
Okay, well, we love barn burners and we love key picks as well. So, Rusty, you've got 4 champs here. You want to tell me what they're doing, why they're good, and why we're looking at it?
Yeah, so these are what I would say is the key picks for patch 11.13. Now, that doesn't mean like the meta must pick champions. These are just some key picks that have either been more niche or are starting to rise up the ranks. The first one on your list is Ziggs. Obviously, not yesterday, Wednesday, we saw 4 Ziggs picked or banned in all of the games. 3 picked, 1 banned, and that was the last game that it was banned away. So it might have been fresh in the opponent's mind in that case. So Ziggs has also been going into the AD carry position. We saw it once in mid lane from Chaz. It was a defeat, and now it seems to have translated down to the bottom lane. And it has insane turret taking potential. It has really redirected a lot of the focus for these teams towards like 8-minute Rift Herald priority, because a single Rift Herald and a single Satchel Targe is basically a turret, and there is an insane amount of extra gold now on the Rift through side lane inner turrets, right? So naturally there's more incentive to take those turrets. Ziggs naturally does that, so he's going to rise to priority, which is why he's on this list. LeBlanc, we've actually seen a lot of her starting from Gravitas more than anyone else. And yesterday we saw Shock with a crazy, 25 Magi stack performance on it. LeBlanc's one of the best dueling champions, one of the slipperiest champions, so really hard to gank, but also one of the best champions at setting up ganks for your jungler pre and post 6. So having the chains, having crowd control obviously helps. Having 2 of them means your jungler gets in for free. And most junglers are lacking crowd control pre 6 now. Braum. I put Braum in here because he's been picked more in patch 11.13 with more success than we've seen from him in the past. Currently has a 100% win rate on the patch. He's been picked 3 times. 2 of them were versus Nautilus, and 2 of them were against Pentanet.gg. So there's an interesting caveat there in that, the team that's trying to improve their laning phase is losing to a champion that's very easy to beat in laning phase in Braum. And the 3rd game was against Thresh, so all against Hook champions, just kind of chucking that one out there. And the last one, Mac, is Hecarim. Hecarim has kind of been a niche jungler, and as a jungler yourself, you would say you haven't seen too much of it, I'm imagining, but only picked it up early. Kevy's jumped into the list, and Babip lately from the side of Peace has been picking it more and more, and they've been winning more and more, so you can do the math. Hecarim's starting to rise as priority.
Yeah, so just decent amount of value there from Hecarim, even though he's sort of... It feels like he fell out of the meta a little bit from what we were seeing the teams picking. However, even with all the nerfs and the minimal buffs here and there, he keeps on getting, slightly reworked. He just seems to have a little bit of playtime. Skimmy, any thoughts on any of the champs before we move along?
Yeah, with the Hecarim one to start off with, we had the Turbo Chem Tank meta for such a long time, right? Udi and Hecarim's is running a glory. And it felt like they got bullied out for a fair bit at times, but then, Divine Thunder came into effect. You still got people flexing the Karma. So you pair those 2 together, it seems a match made in heaven in that regard, right? Just to touch on a point with Ziggs, given that we have so many champions right now that can get flexed in, be it 2 or 3 different lanes, you would still put Ziggs as a mid laner, but at the moment, definitely excelling in the bot half of the map where skill shots are essential, mana pool is fantastic, the poke. I guess you just think of it like an Ezreal. You're just looking to try and be a bit of a lane bully, get some cheap items, and siege for success.
Yeah, it seems to certainly be the go. Now, before we jump into an amazing video, where you are going to see a couple of the talented pros who are playing in the LCO, make sure you take note of their Twitter tags. Make sure you run over to Twitter, Follow all the teams, follow all the players, because they need your love too. And the more content you see coming out of them, hopefully the more they'll create as well, especially if you hit that little love heart, you know, like it, you do whatever you need to do. But here is a solid bit of content coming out from the pros. And this time, they are going to tell you how many champs they know, starting with the letter K.
Champions starting with K. What is this game? It's impossible, man. That's not playable. Kale, Kai'Sa, Kindred, Karma, Kane, Katarina. I can't get any more.
K, Kalista, Kai'Sa, Katarina,
Kale, Katarina, Callista, Kha'Zix, Karthus, and Kayn.
Karthus. Karthus and... what the hell, man? Katarina, Kha'Zix. That's all I got. Kale, that one came to me in a burst of genius.
Katarina, Kha'Zix, Kayn,
Kale. And Caitlyn with a K.
Okay, Katarina, Kha'Zix, Kayn, Kindred.
Kindred, Callista, get the ADC one out of the way. Yeah, no idea. I'm just really bad at this.
Because I'm thinking too hard. Let's go chill. Okay. Oh shit, I'm actually blanking on it. Okay. Cannon. Yo, that's one. That's it? Cannon's the only champion starting with K. Wait, really? No. Oh.
I think that one definitely deserved a Guardy right at the end there. So Kisei falling trap to a couple of the tricks that the producers were playing. Now, we have another gentleman which we can bring in because Nat is away again today and Jubes is going to be jumping into her seat. Jubes, how you feeling this fine Friday? You're looking fresh there in the black robe.
I feel as snug as a bug in a rug. Is that the saying? But they do say good things happen in 3, and this is my 3rd time on the broadcast this week, so it's fantastic. I'm living it up. I'm living it up, and then I get to wear my dressing gown. But then I'm actually kind of angry at Skimmy because he really did just go one up on all of us.
Look,
he really did.
We had that off the rehearsal conversation, right? You say, "Oh, boys, you got your robes," and I was like, "Yeah, well, don't actually have a robe here, guys." So. It was a bit of a girlfriend gap, that one. A bit of a case of checking out their wardrobe and saying, we're going to yoink that. They steal your hoodies, so I'll steal this.
True. Very, very true. Now, not only did the pros get quizzed today, but we're going to be doing a couple of quizzes of our own because we love fun here on the DoorDash LCO. And to kick things off, I'm going to be going first. But what this quiz is I'm going to name a champion, and then you 3 have to decide or have to tell me what the abilities are for that champion, including their passive abilities. So,
yeah, including passive is cool.
Okay.
This is going to be hard. This is a true skill tester, and we're all going to get a turn of this throughout the evening. I think Rusty and I are going to be going first, and then the other 2, you'll go, in between the games when we have a little bit of time to fill. But to kick things off, we love Shyvana. That's going to be number 1. So, what?
I think I got 1.
You confused? All right, well, I'm going to leave. I'll go. How about we go? All right, the passive. What is the passive called for Shyvana?
No. Also called it Dragon Slayer?
No.
Can I take... I'm just going to take a guess at aspect of the dragon.
No.
It's close?
Well, 1 has the word dragon in it. I can tell you that much. And so actually 2 have the word dragon. The passive has the word dragon in it.
Can I get the one that I know?
It gives
can we work
resistances
backwards?
every time you kill a dragon.
It's a dragon passive.
Well, I'll let that one hang, and we'll move on to Q. Do we know what Q is?
Twin Fang?
Ooh, halfway there.
That's Cassiopeia, right?
Yeah.
One of the words was correct.
Twin.
Yeah.
It'd have to be twin.
It's like the punch.
Strike.
What do dragons do with their Jaws.
Twin bite.
Yes. Juice.
Twin
Bing,
bite.
bing, 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 bing.
Very
You got
nice.
1 point on the board with a lot of help.
I knew
All
we'd
right.
suck at this. So.
It's all right. We're working through it together.
I could have guessed it was Shyvana too, because I know Mac's been playing it a bunch, and I should have Googled it before we went on broadcast.
Yeah, I was trying to not go to something that I played a huge amount, but something that I thought that we haven't seen a lot of and we don't see a lot in competitive, so it's obviously going to be harder to get the abilities. However, W. What's W? What's its name?
Oh, is it like Flame Spinner or
No.
Flames?
Ow,
like
Bernies.
Inferno.
What did you say, Rusty?
I said, ouch, Bernies.
Well, all right.
I think Burn.
I'll give you another clue for this one. Think Summer Gnats.
Burnout?
Yes, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah,
Bing, bing,
yeah.
bing, bing, bing.
Like
Rusty's
immolation.
on the board.
Okay.
Can't
Right,
believe I knew
beautiful.
Summer Nats.
All right, E. What is E?
Oh, well, it's Flame Breath.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom.
Nice, nice.
That was easy. Jubes,
Yeah.
you bloody winning. You got 2 points. I'll actually keep a tally here too. I'll write that down while you guys remember what R is.
Oh, Dragonflight? Is it?
No.
No.
Dragon.
Give me
Has to have dragon in it, right?
It has to
does
because like
have
he
dragon in
transforms
it.
into it.
Jubes with 2 points. Rusty with 1 point. All right, cool. Think. Okay, you've got one of the words, and then the second word is something like, you know, when
Dragon's
you...
Descent.
Yes! He's on it!
Oh!
Well, I didn't even have to
Yes.
give you much. Skimmy's on the board! Look
yes,
at that!
I'm thinking.
I would not have got that.
Now, do we quickly want to revisit the passive?
Oh, yeah.
Think like Skyrim.
Never played it.
Oh, Fusradar.
Well, it could not possibly be Fus Radar.
Nah, we're just going to check the one out there.
It's
You know,
not
we're just getting
Fusradar.
the creative juices spinning.
Alakazam.
No.
Alakazam.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
thinking
Alright, well-
Skyrim, but what does that mean?
Oh, it's Dragonborn, and it
Oh.
was Fury of the
Oh.
Dragonborn. That was the passive.
Oh, makes
Now-
sense. Makes sense.
Show all the answers here. You did manage to get them all, so with a little bit of help, mind you, but it's more about getting it than obviously not getting it, and everyone's ahead of me because I was asking the questions, not answering, but here you go. So, Fury of the Dragonborn, Twin Bite, Flame Breath, Burnout, and Dragon's Descent. So, congratulations for getting 4 of 5, gentlemen. That's very good. Now, Rusty, I'm
decent.
going to hand the host role over to you.
Yeah, so I picked the champion that I thought you guys may be able to get. Barring Skimmy, because I doubt he plays this on ARAMs.
No.
My champion is Kha'Zix.
Ooh.
Oh.
So we've got 2 junglers here. So let's start with the passive. This is one I couldn't get
This is
myself.
isolation, no?
Well, it
Nope.
gives you isolation, but I
Oh.
can't remember what it's
What's the
called.
passive name, though?
I saw it the other week, and I was like,
Oh
that's a
my
weird name
goodness.
for it, but I'm not going to get it.
I think this is. I thought, like, as soon as you said Kha'Zix, I thought easy, and now I've just completely.
Yeah.
This was like all my exams and all my tests all over again.
Yeah,
I
man.
prepared for it,
Yeah.
and now I'm just sitting here at my desk wishing.
You're in the spot, and it's
yeah.
gone.
I think I know
Mind
W. I remember W.
Can we go back to the
Yeah,
passive?
we can go back to the passive.
All right.
So we'll go to
Any
Q.
hints? Any hints for the passive quickly?
Oh, absolutely. Half of this name is in a very popular fantasy horror movie.
Oh, it's something Predator.
There you go.
It's Predator.
Well, think literally. What makes it the Predator? Like, what conditions need to be met?
Isolated predator?
No, it's not the isolation. It activates when you're in a bush or when you press R.
Hidden predator?
Invisible Predator. Unseen.
Yeah,
unseen.
there you go. There you go.
Predator,
Alright, Juice, you get that one there.
Oh, shit.
All right,
Amazing.
Let's move on to the Q.
Oh, no, man. This is so
I'm
tough.
not sure you'll get this one.
Yeah,
I have my reservations.
Q.
Yeah.
So it smacks you with a claw, but what's that called?
It doesn't have the word claw in it. I'll give you
No, it
that.
definitely doesn't have
It's
claw.
like Death Scythe or something?
No.
No.
I think that might be a cane one.
Yeah, true.
I can give you a hint, but I'll let you have a crack. Oh, you want a hint?
Oh well, I mean, up to those guys. I'm stumped.
Yeah.
I think
I'm keen for a hint.
Just give us hints
I'll
if
give
we're
you
looking like we're
a
struggling.
hint that like may or may not work. Yeah. Kha'Zix actually says it out loud.
Oh, oh.
Come on.
No, it's there. It's
Yeah.
there.
man.
I
It's
play
there.
so much Kha'Zix.
We
and I
can
just
we
don't
can
listen.
move on. and-
Taste the fear.
Yeah,
of
yes, yeah.
Yes.
Taste their fear.
Oh.
Taste their fear. Yeah.
Because he says it
I
out
knew
loud.
it. I knew it as well. Oh my god.
Jubes on the money. There we are. You're almost at the bloody...
The rest of this
Quintuple,
champion may be easier. We'll move to the W now.
Void Spikes.
Yep.
Yeah. Spikes. Okay. Yeah. So we're good.
Next is the E.
Unseen Threat? No.
Nah,
No.
that's the old, I think. But
E.
E's.
Oh, E's, some
wings.
something
But-
leap.
Something leap.
Yeah.
Skinny, you gonna contribute at all, or?
Bro, like I don't play this champion.
Can
I
give
only
you
ever remember seeing this in like what season 1, 2, Moscow 5, like Galaxy, just bunny hopping around, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Mac, I'll
I've
give you
never tried it
something
again.
here.
Yeah.
Get rid of the something. What's left?
Leap?
Yeah, it's just leap.
Oh, it's just leap?
What?
And is
It's just
Unseen
leap.
Threat the ulti?
No, you've already. That was the passive.
Unseen Threat. Was it?
Unseen Predator was
Ultimate
the passive.
Evolution?
Oh, right.
So the ultimate is a very different word. Good luck.
It's not evolution something.
It's not evolution something.
Okay.
It has to do with where Kha'Zix is from.
Oh.
Oh.
That doesn't help me.
You don't know law?
Nah, I'm not a law man.
I'm anti-law.
I asked
And
if
you
I
can
should
take that either
study
way.
law.
Every
Or-
champion that has an apostrophe is from this place, Juice.
Anti-Zix?
Hmm?
No. Oh, more. No. Cogmore? Isn't that an apostrophe?
No, bro.
They all have an apostrophe. Kaisa as well. Where are they all from?
Oh,
Oh,
dude, nah,
is
I
that a
don't know.
Kathian? No.
That's
Is it-
Kaisa's Q. Is a
Where
They
Kathian
do a
Rain.
Kathian Rain.
They're all from the Void.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, but what's the alt name? Voids.
I'm sieging a castle. Yeah? So, yes. There you
Void
go.
Assault. Yeah. Who was that?
Okay.
Skimmy?
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Alright, Skimmy with the point. Okay.
I'm just an ultimate man. That's all I seem to know.
Oh my goodness.
I think that was all of them, yeah.
And there
That
you
was-
go. That's it.
That was hard. That one was actually hard. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want to say thank you for doing one that I got points on because I didn't expect to know a single ability name from any of the champs you guys selected.
Apparently it was Unseen Threat. Not
Was Unseen
I
you
Threat?
say,
What did I write?
I can't remember
Unseen
what we
Predator.
It's
Uh,
so
did I
funny
write
because like the
Predator?
pros won't know like champions, but then we just won't know the
It
skill
was.
names. So it's just like this like gentleman's agreement of like, yeah, we just play the game.
I just googled it. It is. Not bad.
said. Oh, good.
Whatever.
Beautiful.
You got Tally to answer to now, but who cares?
Deal with it, Tally.
All right. Well, we've smashed through enough of this so far, and it's time to talk the game. It's going to be Gravitas and Direwolves first up for the evening. Let's talk Gravitas first. They've been getting some big W's on the board, taking down a couple of the Titan teams here in the DoorDash LCO, and really are setting themselves up to make playoffs if they keep this trend continuing, Rusty.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, Gravitas have continued to impress in different ways, which is, again, the most important thing, because originally they were doing well, they couldn't close games, then they showed that they're able to close games. On Wednesday, we saw that they're actually able to come back from a deficit and still look like a solid team pretty much all around. And they did that through superior team fighting with a significant goal deficit for the most part. And it was, this game as well in particular was extremely losable. So I'm most impressed they brought it back in the way that they did by making a clutch call saying do Baron immediately and then just look for fights. And once they get that lead, it does seem like Gravitas are highly capable of closing now.
Most interesting part for me in that game, though, is when you saw Gravitas go for the Baron and Legacy had the invitation to go for 2 inhibitors, and then as they're looking to try and disengage from that one with Gravitas coming back, there was like this shot call of like, do we go in, do we just realm warp out with the Rise, or do we stay and commit and turn? And they seem to be, well, that seemed to be like the turning point in the game where Legacy had like a 5k gold lead, but ultimately Gravitas just knew how to get themselves back into it and continue to be the team that's causing a stir.
And Direwolves hitting the accelerator just when it's necessary, going into the second round of the round robin. Let's talk them now. Jubes, what was their recipe for success the other day? Was it just Shock popping off, or was it a whole team effort?
I think it was a bit of a Shock pog off, but if I'm being completely honest, I think Only had one of the better games that we've seen from him for the split. It wasn't without hiccups, and I'm not 100% sold on the resurgence yet, but obviously beating a team with the caliber of Pentanet.gg, you've got to be happy about that one. But I think across the board, it was a very good, team effort. Cupcake played a lot better. Gunkrab was finally enabled to play an AD carry, which Shockara he did very well on. And, Shock actually surprised me on the LeBlanc. I didn't think he actually, was known necessarily for his assassin gameplay, but, he definitely, made the game near impossible for Pentanet. Every time they took 2 steps forward, it was 3 back. A Shock was there. And again, that was fantastic, by the way, I must say. I think that was a little bit underrated, and we didn't touch on that little mechanic there. But Shock, again, all game, finding these windows, finding these picks. And look at him on the side here, finding the flank. He's making PGG just back off completely.
Yeah.
And, just cleans them up here.
I just find it so fascinating between this game and the game against Chiefs on the Wednesday, though. Just a complete difference in the turnaround in performances, not only from the draft, but just the way they're playing the game, right? Like, you're looking at the Chiefs game, they went for a wombo combo comp into a Gwen, where the Gwen just kind of like laughs at you and just gets back-to-back quads. But then you play this game here, where it's like, we want to skirmish, we want to do better with PGG that are keen to skirmish too. And both teams haven't been looking as hot as they can right now, but I'm sure that would have meant a lot for the Divals to bring them back in Super Week.
So going head-to-head, who do you guys think is going to take this one, and why do you think that?
I don't actually remember my prediction at all, but I would say at the moment Gravitas. If I was to make my prediction on the spot,
Okay.
I think that Divals have shown still that, like, while they were good at coming back into the game, they were losing to a pretty dismantled and struggling Pentanet.gg, where Gravitas have shown if they get the leads that they're very good at closing out now. So it's hard to look away from them and say that they'll be able to get the win through that.
Can I just mention that I feel so relaxed in what we're wearing at the moment? I'm just like straight chilling at the moment. I'm so happy. What about you guys? You guys happy?
Well, I'm happy, but
yeah,
according to old mate, I've got some people down in the side lane.
Oh, are they happy too? You want to go check?
Beauty.
I'll check if you want.
Beautiful.
I think I have Kyose and only. I know.
Really?
I knew.
Oh.
Well, I knew I had you, but I was leaving a little bit of suspense for the fans. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Fantastic. Okay. All good. Hey, Kyose only. Thanks for joining me, Kyose. Off the back of a bit of a win streak. Bit of a win streak, if I do say so myself. Don't know what they look like personally, but talk to me how it feels.
Feels pretty good. Don't want to go overboard, and I want to go overboard and say hopefully a 3-0 week, but don't want to go overboard and just gain confidence, because Dials is like a really good team still. Like, everyone's doing really well, and Dials won like their last game and they played really well, so yeah.
And I don't want to put any extra pressure. I did tip you to win, so whatever, all good. Only firstly,
Yeah.
you know I love you,
Hello.
okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
And then secondly, that win was huge. Huge win. Huge. And
Yeah,
I think
I actually
personally
apologize,
you
by
had
the
them
way.
lined up.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize we had started until like halfway through that interview. I was getting attacked by my dog. Also, I was having a
That's fine.
conversation with
Dude.
Kyose, so I was so out of it just then. But yes,
Well, the more the
yesterday was,
merrier. So if you want to bring your dog ever to the interview, that's fine.
yes. Well, she left now, but she often ganks me. Yeah, like tries to lick my feet and stuff. So it's super distracting.
I just wanted to ask you anyway, how does it feel to win that game? Huge game, huge win. Is this just the complete 180 anime arc? I don't watch anime, but apparently it's a big comeback.
I have a bad habit of jinxing things on the interview, especially after I told Swaith to pick Gwen. It seems whenever I say something, like the complete opposite of what I want happens. So I'm gonna say no, this is not the 180 and we're screwed. Hopefully we win now. But yeah, no, I do want it to be the 180. We really needed that win. We really needed that. It was definitely a confidence, morale booster. Everyone on the team is on like a high right now. Gravitas are also on a high. I just hope our high is better and we can ride that out and win today.
Lovely, and I do see a little bit of a cheeky grin, Kyose, coming out of you there. So do you think your high is better? Do you think that the confidence will be enough to get you through? Where do you see your advantages against Direwolves?
Okay, hopefully our high is a lot bigger, but like Direwolves are really strong, so there's not really an advantage point. But I feel like that considering we are on a high now, we want to keep that motivation and we really want to pull through for a 3-0 week. So yeah, it would be amazing.
And
I'm getting ganked by everybody right now.
You just got ganked. And I do believe it was possibly in the wrong jersey, but we'll skip past that. And where do you see your advantages against? Where do you see your advantages against
next.
Where do you
What's
see your
next?
advantages against Gravitas?
Mid jungle. Mid jungle, yeah. Hopefully we just pop off. But I can't concentrate right now.
Can I just say, this has been the best interview I've ever done in my life. And you know what? I've changed my tips. I've tipped both teams to win. And I'm sure there's a way everyone can win. Get ready for your game. Refocus. Lovely to talk to you, gentlemen. And see you on Summoner's Rift.
Okay, good luck.
Alright, GL.
Oh,
Was that the best interview ever?
I'm so
that
good,
was
bro.
amazing.
So good.
Look, Papa
That-
only doing only dirty. That was all. Okay, well, Only's probably going to be in trouble about that one, but I think Chiefs are going to be pretty happy about that. Now, let's talk predictions. Gentlemen, which way have we swung with this one? Let's have a look. Of course, I've gone with Twitch chat. So I think this is a bit of a flip around. Rusty, what's wrong?
I've gone against myself. I predicted Gravitas before the interview. I predicted Direwolves after it. So be it. I'm not justifying it. Roll with it.
Everyone could win this game, you know, even us. Everyone's going to be winners at home watching this. Skimmy, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I've kind of gone the same narrative as how, like, when Peace made the lane swap in a support play, kind of bounced back and looked strong again. I kind of believe in this idea of momentum and confidence being an overarching theme, right? Sure, you got these results behind you, and Gravitas have been looking really, really strong, but I'm sure that meant a lot, as you heard from Only there. Would have meant a lot for the boys in Direwolves, so they'll be looking to try and run it back in the second round robin and say, all right, this is when it begins, Super Week, it's game on.
Okay, and what about you, Jubes? We'll jump over to page number 2. You've gone with the Gravitas, huh?
I've tipped the Gravitas Glory partially because every time I've tipped against them, they win, so I'm sick of it. Okay? True. I'm just sick of it. So even I've just taken the analysis out of it and just said, well, statistically speaking, they must win. But no, I do think that they're riding a bit of a high, seeing a lot of development from their players over the last couple of games. I still think, you know, it is like 50-50 genuinely, because depending on which Direwolves turn up. But, you know, in terms of consistency this year, it has to be Gravitas.
Okay, and Rusty, I also have seen you in Twitch chat saying you're going to save up all your points just to try to throw my predictions. But at the same time, everyone else is already doing that, so maybe you just don't want to tip the underdogs or tip the favourites at this point.
Can I tell you, the day I had off this week, I gambled all my points to try and like all or nothing on an underdog so that I could ruin one of your tips, and I got it wrong, so I have no points. So there's no way that's going to work anymore.
There you go. Plans have been foiled, but the plan to get the game underway is certainly going well. I heard Champ Select's ready, so ladies and gentlemen, we will not keep you too much longer. Kick your feet up. Make sure you send in pictures of how you're watching the game so we can get them on the stream. And also, it's time for Gravitas and Direwolves.
Beautiful. Well, let's kick it off. Comfortable Friday is here, and it means another chance for these teams to show what they're about. Fun fact here, Rusty, as abstract as it may be, the last time Gravitas actually beat the Direwolves was way back in March 2020. So it's been a hot minute since Gravitas have beaten them, but it's a very different team and a very different style of play that they're showing at the moment.
I mean, yeah, it definitely is. Very different Gravitas, and what you want to say is a similar Direwolves, but it's not something we've seen much of yet. Already with 3 bans in, one of them stands out to me, Skimmy. That is the LeBlanc, something that we spoke about at the very top of the show for obvious reasons. Kiyose and Shock are both LeBlanc players.
Yep.
So it's more interesting that it has been banned away when they both could pick it, but it does seem like a red side type of pick of priority, right? You get it in 2 or 3, and then you ban away other mid laners that may be able to deal with it. Or you go for the 5th pick, right? That advantage on red side is super big for the LeBlanc pick. So a nice ban away here by Direwolves. Does leave open your Karma and Lulu, however.
And my exact same point, right, is the fact that, yeah, Karma's available. Both love to play the Enchanters as well. We've seen that Kiyose will pick that up at any opportunity when it presents itself, but Direwolves aren't too shy of that either. Ezreal gets banned away, so now that leaves up options as to where do Direwolves open up their draft with. Will they go for the likes of a Ziggs, which we saw have such a high priority, or given the fact that likes of Lulu and Karma are just so damn strong, you just have to.
I mean, you do kind of just have to, right? You get your choice. Do you want the Lulu? Do you want the Karma? Lulu does seem to be the preferential option. I would say it is as well for the side of Gravitas, so just prioritizing the Lulu for themselves. You have a Xin Zhao as an option right now if you want to in the jungle role to go with it. Gravitas may consider going Karma Xin Zhao here just to deny that and still giving themselves the onus of a very strong dueling duo. We'll see, because again, both of these champions, the Lulu and the Karma, are so flexible that you could even do Karma Ziggs right now if you want to prioritize that.
Yeah, you certainly could. I mean, we've seen a few variations of what that bot lane looks like, be it Fresh Ziggs, Leona Ziggs, or even Rakan Ziggs. Anything for a bit of CC and the amplification to guarantee that those skill shots will connect. But it feels too good to pass up, Rusty. We haven't seen them play the Hecarim on the side of Gravitas, but we've seen Arcano play a ton of the Xin Zhao and paired up with the Karma. It's the exact same outcome, a really strong 2v2.
Yeah, not very surprising. I will say that this is the route that they've gone. They've gone for a very strong skirmishing style jungler in response here as well. Direwolves with only on the Volley Bear. I'm pretty high on the Volley Bear. I do think it's quite powerful. It opens up so much for diving more than anything else. And this Aphelios third pick is actually the big thing that sticks out for me, because normally you would see something like a Thresh with it. And going for the Lulu with the Volley Bear feels like a really good skirmishing duo, so this does kind of leave the floor open for the Thresh pick, because that's a very early Aurelia.
What an early Aurelia pick. I mean, you'd think maybe a few metas ago when Gnar was top lane just guaranteed all the time and he'd lock this in as a response to try and find the desirable matchup, but that's just Safa throwing down the gauntlet and saying, I'll play it. Maybe in the mid lane, but you'd imagine it's going to be in the top lane, because you know that Safa loves to play those bruises, loves to pop off, but to pick it blind, that's just the sheer confidence probably from the Gravitas camp.
Yeah, this does limit the magic damage as well on the top side, if that is a Karma going towards Kyosei in mid. Looking forward to seeing where the rest of their draft progresses here, because they are banning away things that might worry the Aurelia in top lane. The Renekton going to be the first ban. We'll see what follows. With Aurelia picked, you're not worried about champions like Gnar. You're not really worried about champions like with Gwen already gone. Not a lot of options there scare you now that Renekton's gone. You're looking for things that may cause stability. Poppy is one of those odd counters that I wouldn't expect Claire to play. So pretty free right now is Safa.
See what they lock in as their pick towards it as we go through the next set of rotational bans. It's going to be the Renekton to start off, as you mentioned. In the Lee Sin, we've seen a bunch of that being played here by Claire in the top side of the map. And now on the Direwolves end, they've gone for an RE ban, just looking to try and limit the factors of where Gravitas could flex that Karma. Kind of pigeonholing Kyosei to say, we want that to be a mid lane Karma, so that Shock has the best possible answer towards it.
Yeah, definitely the case. Ashe. This is one of these picks, man. We've spent so much time talking about why I don't necessarily think Ashe is the pick, and you can see Thomas Shed laughing as they've banned it away from him. Varus and Ashe, however, are both gone. Ezreal also removed. So realistically, with that Ashe ban, a lot of Thomas Shen's AD carry options are gone. And Jinx is going to be the fallback choice. Still, of course, can be with the Karma, as that is flexible to the very end for Gravitas. And would have a pretty strong lane down there if that were the 2v2.
For sure. And from the 4 champions that Thomas Shen's played, this is the 4th and final one that is up and available from what has been taken away. But as the Camille, we know how good Safa is at Dash champion, and that's why it begs the reason why it was let through. We know that Claire's also had his moments to impress in it, and that should be an explosive top lane matchup if that is to be the case. The final pick here, you'd imagine that would be for Shock in the mid lane with the Rise. Had a handful of games on it so far, but not been able to really set up in the 1-3-1s as Rise is usually known for.
Yeah, this does, of course, confirm Lulu's going to be going to the support position for Cupcake. We've got that 1-4, like you mentioned. The potential of a 1-3-1, a lot of variability is actually there for Direwolves with their lane assignments, and it's very hard to deal with the 3 that would be stuck in mid if they do go for a 1-3-1. I like this a lot overall, looking at the composition the Direwolves have completed, looking at the Gravitas side of the coin here, Skimmy, with that Rakan that they've just locked in. It confirms what we all kind of just suspected would be the case anyway with their draft.
Yep.
But choosing to go for the Rakan as a last pick definitely feels like a comp decision, not a lane or counter decision. They just want to engage. And they've chosen Rakan, who can obviously super hard engage with Flash, Grand Entrance, hit the knock up on everybody. It's not going to be something like a Nautilus, it'll be pot shots, however.
Certainly isn't. It's very much a case of finding your moments, but it almost seems a bit of an ego check. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Rusty. The fact that they've picked a lot of bruises, a lot of flashy nature to their kits to say that we want to find those skirmishes and we just want to outright beat you. We know what those fights should look like, and we know what our win condition is going to be in that regard. Whereas Direwolves said, well, we've got split push, be it Camille, be it Rise. We've got a little bit of durability and polymorph denial for those bruises coming at us. And hey, sure, we had a really great game against Pensnet where we gave resources towards Guncrab to pop off. We're just going to do it again, and this time he's going to be playing the Aphelios.
Yeah, the Aphelios pick. So something that I was thinking about through my head, Skimmy, while we're comfortable today, I don't know if the Aphelios necessarily will be in this game,
won't.
just given everything that's going to be running at him and how hard they'll be to deal with. But having the Lulu instead of something like the Thresh actually lets you stand and deliver more than disengaging and playing from range. And Xin Zhao is one of those champions, right, where you want to be inside his area of effect to be able to even deal damage to him. The Aurelia, someone that will really suffer from being polymorphed in general, will then take a lot of damage as well. And I'm hoping that, best case scenario, of course, we'll get our Kraken Slayer, red weapon, white weapon, Aphelios just running around smacking everyone with a Lulu, augmenting him.
Yeah.
That would be pretty much perfect for Direwolves, getting an early lead through their bottom lane or through a single side laner to let the rest of the map work.
I mean, just imagine the amount of value that the Runon's Hurricane's going to get, right? You think back to when Aphelios got released and it had that 2-item power spike with the Infinity Edge and just did so much damage from afar. A lot of champions coming towards him, a lot of protection to buff him up. And a big chance here for Direwolves to carry on their good work from Wednesday to today. But Gravitas, the team that are currently in pole position, they're ahead in the standings. And it looks like they've got a bit of a cheeky level 1.
Yeah, both top lanes are going to look at each other's scheme. I don't know if too much more will happen just beyond that, but they've been baited. It's on.
They certainly have been baited. They're actually going to jump straight on towards Claire here as we'll hold our breath for just a second, calm ourselves down. We'll get a chance now to check in with the coach of the Direwolves with Farmer. Mate, welcome back as always. I want to start by saying, huge congratulations for the win over PGG, your first of the entire year. We heard it from Only beforehand that it felt so good for the confidence and, the team environment. Would you say that was pretty much the overarching theme?
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge boost. Everyone needed it, but at the same time, I think that Wednesday, we had a lot of things that we did differently, and we were kind of going in with more confidence, and so the result was even like the cherry on top, sort of.
Yeah, for sure. And I suppose, where to from here, right? Because we've seen this happen before in Split 1, where it took a bit of time to, find that form. Is it the sort of same story once again, that, you get a big win against a fantastic team and say, all right, we do know the fundamentals. Let's pick it up and start to go on a bit of a win streak.
Yeah, and I think it is similar to last split. I hope it has the same trajectory, except hopefully we extend a little bit further this time. That being said, I think it's not just a matter of we got to win and that's all we needed. I think from our recent results, we've really been kind of constantly working and constantly trying to find solutions to our problems that crop up. And I think a big problem for us, like I mentioned last interview, was that I think weren't really confident in our read of the meta. And then we felt like we were confident with what worked for us, and then it didn't end up performing on stage. And then on Wednesday, we finally felt like, okay, we didn't miss anything. This was we ticked all the boxes in our draft based on our win rates, based on our behind the scenes stuff, and this is what we needed. And so when I think the players kind of subconsciously felt it too, and it really showed. So today, I'm hoping that we've kind of continued that streak with the same kind of mentality of this works for us. This is how we're going to draft for us, because this draft was very much how we had planned it. So yeah, I just hope it shows up.
That was my point exactly, right? Because I want to talk about this Rise pick in particular, being the team that played the most out of anyone so far in the LCO split. Has it been a conscious decision that we're seeing a lot of teams find success with skirmishing? So whilst we want to focus on that, also let's really draw it back to being fantastic at playing the map.
Yeah, I mean, that is what Rise does, but I think that also it comes down to how our team functions and how Ari plays as an individual, and what he's comfortable with. So yeah, I think we're very happy with the chance we have, based on our own personal results in scrims and whatever. So yeah, this seems like it's our best bet.
Beautiful. Well, I'll leave you there for the meantime there, Farmer. We're going to crack on with this game. I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Tell you what, Rusty, I'm stumbling over myself there, because as I'm talking, I realize so much is happening, and I'm thinking, I hope you've got a notepad in front of you to recap it all.
Let me tell you, that was too chaotic to recap. Basically, it all stemmed from the level 1. We might hold that. Flashes will be traded in bottom lane. Never mind, we're not holding it. So the level 1 strategy from Gravitas was to force the flash, maybe even a kill on Claire top. Claire also starts with the hook shot. And a lot of very early aggressive trades actually come out from Safa as a result, right? Has the flash advantage, so can play more aggressively in lane, and also knows that Camilla started with just the hook shot. So any kind of commitment is risky from Claire, where normally you'll start with a W probably. And these trades are just continuing.
They certainly are. And whilst we know that Camille loves to punch on, it makes it easier when there's one looking to try and gank for you as well. It's looking a little bit dire. Excuse the pun there for the dire wolves as they get jumped upon with a double buff there earlier that had just got 2 kills. But a gank topside, a trade of the buffs, a huge wave to crash, and a lot of gold going back their way.
Yeah, so all of those plays kind of leaked into junglers putting obvious priority towards top lane, right? And then you had mid laners working with their junglers to try and make 2v2 plays, and it just became this big battle, staunching the top side of the map. At the end of the day, it is 3-3, and mid is struggling.
Starts with the empowered Q, followed by the Tether. Not going to fully connect, at least not in an area where Akano can jump upon. The trades continue in the bottom half of the map right here as mitigation seems to be the name of the game right now, looking to try and find desirable trading states, but those potions are certainly being burnt.
Yeah, I'm going to stop recapping because it just keeps happening. So we'll look at the future instead. Currently, it is a 1,000 gold lead favoring Direwolves, and currently most of that gold advantage is probably belonging to Only. Bot lane, as we spoke about in the draft, the Rakan pick was more of a compositional choice than a lane-winning choice, and natural advantages have kind of started to grow down there for the Direwolves bottom lane. Also, it's only 5 odd CS, but okay.
They're looking for it again. The engage on towards Gunkrab. Now to disengage away. Exhaust goes out. Flash to try and run. But a stun comes from downtown by a volley bear. Only everywhere at once. Doing whatever his team needs to find a strong early game.
And this volley bear is absolutely everywhere. Game is going to be paused, as you can all tell. But we've now got a 10 CS lead in bot lane. You've got a CS deficit that has gone into a lead for top as well. Mid's doing all the work that it can. And again, Only has been putting in an absolute hero's effort right now. It seems like the dad walking past him has only made him stronger during the interviews. But unfortunately, the kill did go to Cupcake. Not too bad to have a kill on the support early. Of course, accelerating support items is nice, Skimmy. But you would have liked it on your AD carry, of course.
You always would. But it's going to be nice, though, as you say, because a lot of people that this Lulu can buff up. So accelerating that choice to get to the Shrellias is always going to be a good time. But I believe we got word from the producer that we might be jumping into a replay. So if we can, let's try and recap. This is how it all started on the top side of the map.
Yeah, so Claire Only gets up here first. Claire basically baiting to the brush. Safa having the flash advantage, was looking to execute, and Kyose coming in here as well. Claire may have been able to live just quietly if he hookshotted further and get over the wall. This is the remnants of what happened in a trade at the red side jungle. So if you keep in mind that Shock had 0 mana, that trade was just kind of silly in general. And Akano was looking to steal Scuttle Crab. So you can see we're, what, 4 minutes 40 in now? All of this has happened on the top side of the map, involving top laners in some way. And it was over the Scuttle Crab at 3 minutes 30. And then finally Only, once again, ahead of the curve, where Akano has definitely been struggling in this one. We'll get to the play late. Only will get there first. And they're once again able to find a successful gank. Playing into the aggression, it feels like, Skimmy, of Gravitas in general.
Certainly is, and maybe the coaching interview curse has been lifted because we've got the replay there to recap it all. So, Birdie Molding in chat can calm down for a hot minute. We have hit level 6 though, which is always fun. So this is when some of the explosive nature of these champions can really start to flourish. You still see the double buff there for clear top lane. Do you know that even though he has this huge CS lead, they're Only still pathing towards him, anticipating another fight?
Yeah, I mean, Aurelia always has a amount of kill threat, you would say, as a champion. So you always have to respect that. You know, if the passive gets fully stacked up. I know Aurelia gets changed on patch 11.14. This is not the patch that we're currently on. Still, the 5-stack Aurelia still has a lot of potency in the early laning phase. Still can use the E, can't be cancelled when dashing around. But lots of pressure here, and a 2-level lead. Safa in trouble.
Certainly is, but it's actually going to be Akano that gets pounced upon instead. He came for the assistance, he came for the gank setup, but he's the one that falls on down. A TP from Shock from mid to top. Now to look for a kill towards Safa, who tries to hit the stun, tries to lock people in place. He has no ultimate, and that could be huge for trying to turn this one around to get resets with that Q. The Tether connects, but here comes Only. He has no 6, so he can't disable his turret, but he might just survive, but falls on down in the end. The explosion from the Mantra Q is just enough, as they're going to crash another wave in here. Direwolves are rocking up to this fight to start off so strong. Shock taking the turret
Kyose's
for just
got
a
him.
fraction longer. He's outplayed them both. It's unbelievable.
Kyose manages to pull out the magic trick. Mantra empowers the W and just gets some distance and heals his way back up. Crazy work there from Kyose, considering that looked like it could be a pretty devastating play for Gravitas. Starts with their jungler dying. But Safa puts in some serious work, right? Trims the minions, buys a lot of time here. I thought he must have been close to level 6, but he just didn't quite tick over even after the cannon drops. And really, it's just Kyose getting in here doing all the work he can. Nice stun, of course, there by Safa. And at this point, you know, they could maybe disengage, but they choose to step forward. They just get hit by a volley bear Q and stun. So they were committed to making the turnaround 2v3 Skimmy. Just at this point, you know, even Kyose is probably very aware. He's just used his shield. The high risk of being dove here, so saves the Mantra for the W and actually gets it in just before the stun lock from the Direwolves. Huge stuff there from Kyose.
An insane sequence of events, and it doesn't stop there because we got into bot lane right now. Gunkrab's in a bit of trouble. The wild growth will not be enough to save in this situation. Oh my days, it's a little bit rough here actually. So he's looking to try and run away back underneath this turret. There's zap, sidestep, flash away as well.
He's gonna die to minions. Ooh.
Mashen. He nearly died to minions, as you say, but these teams clearly out for blood.
Yeah, they definitely are. Ricardo's dead again, just quietly at the Rift Herald.
Wow.
Only will say, don't mind if I do. And here is the Rift Herald, no smite, but nothing to really steal that one anyway. No way Safa gets over the wall. So another kill, another objective gets traded back, but that was a 2v2 isolated kill here in favor of Gravitas. Just right in the face of Direwolves, they get it done.
They do. And as we fast approach that 10-minute mark, it is a 2k gold lead in favor of the Direwolves, despite the kill count being so close. This is how it starts. Kind of goes for the Herald, sorry. But the smite HP will not be enough.
Yeah, that wasn't even close. Only uses his ultimate at the same time as Akano, and nothing will happen from Azin in that situation. Mid laners are going to trade. Shock is absolutely smashing this one. That is to be expected with the supportive build that Kyose will be building, however. And at the moment, the fact that it is a 0-3 jungler for Gravitas is a really big negative because it removes a lot of the freedom, a lot of the space, and a lot of the ability to roam around the map for Kyose. He can teleport to help Safa if it comes to it. He's in base, ready to go. But no jungle difference will be working in favor of Gravitas. It is all only right now.
Interesting to see how he navigates this one, because we've seen a few variations of the Zinzao when they are behind, rushing GL, just getting around wins, anything to try and be survivable in these skirmishes. As the pressure continues to mount topside, once again it's a nice little stun. There's TP from Kyose trying to make it a fair fight, but it's not going to be a 3v2 as Direwolves rock up once again. Shock is here, Safa trying to be a hero. And he takes down one with him, but it's Kyose that picks up the killing blow again. There's the funded, there's the mitigation, there's the chance to try and get another empowered W. Oh, the bomb from bottom lane isn't going to be enough. It's not going to connect. But Kyose just continues to snipe kill after kill, and he's now 5-0-2.
I'm telling you, this Enchanter player is cracked on the side of Gravitas. It's actually unbelievable. He's putting in so much work, but his carries just aren't surviving for long enough. They're just not able to get it done. He is, however, as the absolute madman, is 5-0. Safa honestly does play this pretty well still. Gets a lot of the resets, gets back under his turret for Claire's hookshot and for the ultimate, and puts in so much damage. He's just not going to be able to survive long enough to get another auto. No resets, no Triumph procs to be seen. Kyose comes into the bush, and once again, Mantra W's, but also gets the auto attack off just before flashing away and distancing himself from Shock. Again, well played.
A little bit more attack speed, a few more items complete for the Aurelia. It could be a very different story, especially with the empowerment of this incredibly fed Karma that continues to show up to buff up these beefy boys. As the Moonstone Renewer. And with that amount of gold, you're starting to think, okay, well, you can afford to be down a bit of CS, but play devil's advocate for a second here, Rusty. You know, whilst the Karma is incredibly strong, would you be a bit concerned about the CS lead that this Rise is acquiring?
Not at the current moment, but it can start to get out of control for sure. There's going to be a point in the game, right, where Kyose's main role will be to group up with the team and try and actually be a support, even though he is 5-0. And, you know, one risk we did have, one concern was maybe a lack of magic damage on the top side. I think he's just so fed it doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
But if he starts grouping and Shock has freedom to split push, can a 5-kill Karma do enough to win the game when they have a pretty free avenue to a 1-3-1?
He's TP back to lane. He's trying to save the turret. The Realm will pop again. They are bullying Safa, the shot caller, the one that has been popping off to start off split 2. And now he's 2-5.
Yeah, look, this is all kind of just a result of only being so far ahead and just having so much freedom. Look at the gold right now. Now, we can compliment QSL all we want, but Only's been putting in way more work. It's just that they've been able to very successfully collect the scraps. And speaking of, the scraps of Gravitas' jungler is hovering bot side as they're holding a freeze, so they aren't doing anything to help top lane.
They want to buy time. As Claire said enough, he's been egoed on by this Karma a few times too many, he would say. Respecting it so much, they'll hook shot away back to his own turret. Fight another day.
Yeah, he wasn't going to win that one, Claire. The ultimate was used. He knew he had no chance.
Oh.
And that goes quite wide, but Claire sees it and walks away, just in case. There was a couple missing pings, so clearly communicated by the team. I think that was actually pretty well positioned from Thomas Shen. If there was a wave that Claire wanted to catch, he would have been hit by it. And there was a wave. Just not going to be able to find the kill.
I like that before. Other situation, no, it was a true shot barrage in this position of the map.
That is a scary bear.
Certainly is. Oh, too many kills, but so good. You know, committing flashes, getting stuns, guaranteeing kills, and basically saying, I will be incredibly tanky that we can force any fight that we want.
So we have to, yeah, I guess what we have to really do here is look at, can Jinx with a massive Karma put in enough work to win team fights or prevent Direwolves from playing their strategy, right? That is going to be a lot of the game plan here. We assume that even though Safa is 2-5, it doesn't actually mean that Claire is ahead, it just means it only is. So looking at this isolated 1v1, it probably favors Claire, but it isn't like GG levels. Even now they're fighting.
Bullish duet connects, but the passive there from the Camilla is enough to try and buy a little bit of time. Hookshot from the wall, he flashes away, but a chomp devours him. Now the Stormbringer, lock these two in place, spin the wheel and try and cycle him away, but it's a shutdown that Claire picks up. Finally a kill on the board for this Karma. There's the bomb from base, but it doesn't matter. He was down in individual kills, but he comes out of that skirmish with a double.
And if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you here, Skimmy, well played to Direwolves, but what are Gravitas doing? Just continuing to go back top lane. It's a broken record. They're choosing to continue to make the same mistake time after time. Direwolves are prepared to catch it. You know, the play happens here. The stun hits by Safa. Fair play. But he's not even winning the 1v1. I feel like I just said out loud that he probably doesn't win that before he goes for it. And I think that's just a result of him having the team come up to help him. But all he really does is give over 3 kills instead of 1. When they should probably, at this point in the game, be playing around what is now the Kraken Slayer spike on Thomas Shen and a bot side that can put in work. Why are we playing around the Aurelia still?
Bit of stubbornness creeping in here because this game is completely broken wide open now. 16 minutes in, it's the Direwolves that find themselves a 5,000 gold lead. Another Herald. Another chance to open up this map. They've already picked up one turret. All the pressure being bullied topside. We're going to look at it again because there's another 3-man gank. Safa, you are not going to be able to play this game. You're not going to have any fun. And if you're a shot caller, we want to tilt you.
I mean, like, if he's not tilted, I'm surprised. We've got a fight bottom.
Do indeed. Fantastic flash there from Guncrab. The Tevil would have connected. 2 turret shots soaked here by Floppy. A TP in to try and make this a fair fight. 3v3. Here we go. Exhausting Nakano. He's irrelevant because he's popped the ultimate. He's just going to fall on down for free like that. Shock on the flank with a blue buff. Cycling for the cooldowns. QWE doing whatever he can to try and get these kills. They'll pick up 2. And Direwolves are just brimming with confidence.
Where is Thomas Shen? Every single time, where is Thomas Shen? He was mid lane. So the play happens bottom. Is it like, I'm at a point now where I'm not sure if he's even rotating on time because Floppy was there, right? Like this is definitely just an issue and it's blown the game completely out of proportion. Like look at the goal difference now. It is unstoppably large. Direwolves, without a doubt in my mind, in the driver's seat and snowballing this game past the point of contention for Gravitas. But we see another fight in the side lane. Kyosei flashes for it because he's got reinforcements, but Guncrab with the perfect flash is able to survive for long enough. Exhaust saved, by the way, from Cupcake through all of that. So Akano, you know, the 0-5 Shinzao, not going to do enough damage when exhausted. And they once again get another pick. Shock has been everywhere. We can compliment only, but Shock has been putting in insane amounts of work.
He's basically a twisted fate, a Galio. He is everywhere at the once, right? He's just Realm Warp on cooldown, and we've yet to really, truly see this level of mid lane performance where they are unlocked to this degree, where they can influence the map in such a high regard. And, you know, you saw in that skirmish there, the Moonlight Vigil chucked out. It was going to be a Graviton one. It didn't even connect. It didn't even matter, though. Direwolves are so far ahead in the lead. And every single time we've had these skirmishes, that gold lead or the implications in the map have just been so huge, be it gold leads or just more turrets. Now it's 3-0. And 20 minutes into this one, this seems like a Direwolves rejuvenated.
Yeah, it seems like this Direwolves is what we expected of them in the past, and it's what we're getting right now, so we're thankful it exists. You know, as viewers of the LCO, they haven't continued to underperform from ours and their expectations. We're getting the flashes, and hopefully it's not just a flash in the pan, right? Hopefully this is something we can see more consistently from them. Nevertheless, still yet to close this game out, so we'll hold our breath on that sentiment for the moment.
Kind of really needs more at this stage, doesn't he? He's got the gourd drinking, he's got the brown paper bag boots.
You know what this is, Skimmy? This is a Pabu angle where the Xin Zhao just builds a Thornmail next because there's really no hope.
Yep.
Like, there's no way you're going to get your jungle camps for free. The volley bear's too strong. They have too much control of the map. You can see Shock just pushing through enemy vision, doesn't give a damn. And he's going to take the Gromp. You've got no choice, right? Just build tank, maybe get a Zhonya's.
Well, that's why I wonder, is it a Thornmail or is it a GA? It has to be something with some armor, given how strong these AD champions are right now, but you need to survive, you need to be able to pop that ultimate and still have a little bit of juice left in that tank to be a threat here, because Kyosei, no doubt, is molding. He's 5-1 and 2, the most fed member on their team, but he's a support, he's an enchanter. He's now been collapsed upon, the shield goes out, the thunder from above his head crashes on down and deletes him from the game once again. 2 kills, as clean as that there from the Direwolves. There's the Hextech ultimatum locking in place a third as Rise picks up a double. Realm Warp ourselves into your base because nowhere is safe. Take him down for a triple. Looking for the first ace off this game as Floppy, the Rakan, safe in the fountain. Will deny them of that honor. But the Baron has spawned, maybe that's the next item on the menu.
It feels like comfortable champions and a comfortable performance across the board here by Direwolves now, right? Definitely in their zone, in their element, and just playing good League of Legends. Kyosei caught in a side lane. Safa teleports in, but he's not going to do much to help this one, unfortunately, because the turret aggro goes down, compliments of Only's ultimate. Shock here early, and Claire holds the Hextech ultimatum to make sure that no one's able to escape. Even the Rise ultimate here positioned perfectly for Claire's follow-up hookshot stun. And definitely just, barring that, you're going to be able to close this game out, you would expect.
That timing, unbelievable. A second difference, and that could have been a stolen Baron. That could have been a turning point in this game for Gravitas to get themselves back into this game. Now an 11k deficit. What a turnaround, Rusty. How interesting is this league, really, with stories that are breaking apart, where we're seeing teams show up and then teams take a bit of time to come into form. The predictions have never been this crazy.
And I think it's funny that the way that this game kind of played out, normally you would say, for example, a lot of teams will want to create chaos. We've said that about Mammoth in the first split. We said that potentially about Gravitas as well. You know, find the chaos and then find your element. Floppy
looking for it, went for the charm. He committed the flash and the dash, and they found nothing with it.
That is the second time. I think Floppy should be pretty aware at this point that his flash is timed the same as Gun Crab's, but doesn't even find it this time without. I'm just going to walk over to the dragon, get it for free, and that's just desperation, Skimmy, more than anything else.
Yeah.
But to my original point, the chaos that existed in this game, it feels like Direwolves thrived, right? And it's interesting to compare that to perhaps the Direwolves of the past, where these other teams were throwing chaos to have a better shot. Direwolves seem to be in their element when things are crazy, when things thrive in the chaos.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Certainly are. It seems to be the recipe for success for a lot of these teams. Hence why we find ourselves in this kind of position where a lot of teams are taking fights and just winning fights and forgetting about the macro. They are going for those full 5v5 ARAMs, but bit of stubbornness, you'd have to say, with the amount of attention that was shown towards top lane, repeatedly ganking for Safa, but not finding anything from it. He's now 2-8. Never seen a KDA like that on him. The top half of the map just does not exist right now. And with Floppy being one of your major components of Engage, with his flash really being there, it just can't put up a defense.
Yeah, this inhibitor definitely going to go down for free. Any chance at a contest is probably just losing. Top lane's about to crash as well, so pretty well timed here with their minion waves. This turret is definitely gone, and I think, honestly, the only angle that you have to defend is probably your Nexus. And that's just going to be in desperation as cannons will start to take these down by themselves. Anyway, Dial's way too much pressure.
Yeah, 30 seconds left on this Baron buff. 2 cannons from 2 separate lanes. Looking to try and push this one on through. Forget about a third inhibitor. Let's just look to try and end this game. The 2 Nexus turrets are in their sight. There's the ulti from Safa. Looking to try and be the hero play. He jumps in, but he falls on down even quicker. A double kill here for Shock. Only gets himself another kill. So close now to double digits. As they realm warp into the fountain. There is no escaping the fate of this game. Direwolves will win it. And Direwolves are sending a message as they even dive Thomas Shen there and flash out to protect their own KDA. They've had enough of being the punching bag in this league. They've got the history. They've got the understanding. They've got the veterans, but they want to continue the narrative that this is a team that has so much potential and they are on the upswing.
Most definitely are Direwolves back-to-back victories here, and they've proved that their form is just a little bit too good for the form of Gravitas. There's smiles on the Gravitas side as the Nexus dies, but definitely some wider smiles on the Direwolves side as a pretty solid all-around win. And only, you know, we'll call it the dad buff, I reckon.
I think so.
Dad shows up in the background. He's too embarrassed. He can't underperform in these conditions. He's got to show up. He's got to go off.
He wore the wrong jersey, and he's basically said, son, you need to impress me to start wearing the other jersey. That's what it seems like to me, Mac. Would you say so?
It seemed like that. I even saw Direwolves reaching out on Twitter to his dad saying, hey, what's your size? We'll hook you up and give you a Direwolves jersey as well. So good to see that Direwolves are going to be doing that, and Only's dad has been hooked up. Now, we saw that Action may be coming to the Rift, but I think we got him early. You know, 35 kills in 23 minutes and 56 seconds. That was a whole lot of brawling going on, especially I kind of felt sorry for you, Skimmy, when the interview was going on with the coach at the start. I'm watching this just going, man, there's 5 kills in the first 3 minutes. What the hell's happening? This is going to be a big one. And it certainly was. And Direwolves made a statement, letting everyone know that they are coming into this second round of the round robin with a passion and with a whole lot of skill as well.
I mean, you look at the draft that Gravitas put together, you know they want to fight. You know they want to look to try and get in your face, right? Especially when you're picking a Karma with 2 bruises top side of the map. They put a lot of attention towards it because they knew that was an area that could definitely snowball either way. But I suppose it's a point where you have to consider, when do you want to chop off the limb and say, forget about it, let's invest our resources elsewhere. Rusty brought up a good point, right, about Thomas Shen saying, maybe just play for his Kraken Slayer. But then there's even times when we didn't even see him in team fights. He was just chucking ultimates and hoping for the best. So it seemed like a lost cause by the halfway mark.
Yeah, there he is. He's sort of running into that fight a little bit late. Everyone's kind of already dead, and he got 2 autos off, and it looks like he might be caught out as well. So very unfortunate, Thomas Shen's positioning. Maybe not optimal this game. It looked like he was trying to scale towards the later parts of the game, but Direwolves knew their win condition was to not let that happen, so they were just team fight, and pushed in and finished as well, which could be very close to one of the fastest games we've seen so far in Split 2 of the DoorDash LCO. But looking at that, oh my lord, that's on the way to a 20k gold lead in 23 minutes. Ain't that something, Rusty? Ain't that something?
Yeah, it's definitely something. And the easiest job in the world, if you were Cupcake and Gun Crab, the job was just don't die and you'll win. And the rest of the map was putting in insane amounts of work. And remember, that was through the adversity of a level 1 5-man onto the Camille, you know, onto Claire, and he was struggling, but brought it back real easily. And strong early skirmishing from Direwolves, something that we've known they can do. And I wanted to say one more thing quickly, because it is speculation, but my concern for Gravitas, particularly after this loss, is that I think Safa being the primary shot caller is now overbearing the way they're playing on the map, and there may be a pretty clear recipe to deal with them.
Okay, well, let's see if that is the case or not, but for now we'll check in with Jubes down on the side lanes. Jubes, how you doing after that bloody fiesta?
I love those games. I don't even care. It's not pretty, it's not great, and there'll probably be some people that think, like, what's going on? But I don't know. It's something about just consistent fighting, skirmishes, outplays, because it was backwards and forwards for a little bit. But then it just seemed that the Direwolves really took over identifying their win condition, whereas Gravitas didn't, as Rusty touched on.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, who do you have down there for the winner's interview?
Oh, I got Shock again. My old mate Shock. TikTok on the clock. No Zillion for you anymore, but congratulations again. Oh, no. Oh, you just said it with such a cold emotion. You're like,
I'm sorry, he's dead to me. He's complete trash.
I mean, I interviewed only before the game, and now I've got you, and it seems like the shock only synergy 2 games in a row. Don't want to jinx it because it feels like you're a little bit superstitious at the Direwolves. But what's going on? What is going on between you two? Because you're absolutely cracked.
Well, I think like we've been kind of struggling to find like our style or like the thing that works for us best, and so we've been trying like lots of different things, and a lot of our losses, like we were playing really different things, but like recently we've had pretty good success with playing strong mid jungle 2v2s, and I think that's like meta related as well. Like champs like LeBlanc are really strong, so yeah, we had a lot of success in that on scrims, and I think we had a lot of success on stage too, so it's feeling good right now.
Yeah, of course. And is there like a louder voice between the two? Are you the guy that's telling only what to do? Are you following only? Like, how's that dynamic function?
I'd say it just like depends. Like if Jordy's got camps up, he's pretty loud. He's got to put his camps on cooldown. But other than that, like he's vocal, and I always call like I want a 3-man top or stuff like that. So I'd say it's pretty even, or just like depends on the game. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said 3-man top, because that was going to be my next question. You threw 3-man top and the kitchen sink. So honestly, I never feel bad for players because you make your bed, you sleep in it. But I did feel a little sorry for Safa that game, because I feel like every time I looked at the screen, there's 4 members in his lane. Was that the game plan? Did you formulate a plan and said, okay, we're versing Gravitas, let's camp top?
No, we didn't really like think about that before the draft, but how the draft panned out, like when the top matchup was Camille Aurelia, it was like a really volatile lane. And I think with Ryze, like a lot of people see Ryze as like this hyper scaling champion, which he is, but I think Ryze's like main strength is actually like in the early game, because he's got point and click gank setup, and also like he can ult other lanes, kind of like Twisted Fate. So I think Ryze is really good for snowball in the early game, and it's really good to have when like another lane's matchup is really volatile and you can like impact them a lot, because you have like perma prior and you can always lean to their lane and stuff. Yeah.
Well, Shock, I'll tell you, it's good to have you and the Direwolves back on the hunt, and it's going to be fantastic to see you guys next week. So congratulations on the resurgence, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Cool, thank you.
Very good job there coming in.
Hello.
Hello.
He's back, mate.
He's back. How are we?
Mic check,
We're
one
right
check.
back,
Good
right
check.
back, coming in hot as we all are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us one step towards the DoorDash player that delivered. And look, if I could give an honourable mention to someone, it would be Only's dad for blessing the team with a very good performance today. And maybe even Only, you know, he did go for the reverse jinx, you know, making sure that he said, oh, we're going to have a terrible game. It's going to be horrible. And look what happened. They played out of their minds and got the job done nice and quick too. So what are you guys' thoughts? Who would you put up there for the DoorDash play that delivered?
Yep. Well, I haven't actually seen it, so I guess I'll guess, and I'd say it's Only.
Okay.
But I did not know he was a superstitious person, so that's interesting for me.
Well, no more beating around the bush. It is Only that was the DoorDash player that delivered. So big congratulations to him. And he's going to be, Only flexing up a storm.
The Nidalee spear pose,
nice.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? I thought he was just, having a flex. Anyway, either way, I love it. And I'm sure he's going to be loving the $100 DoorDash voucher that he has earned himself today. 10, 3, and 11, doing a very good job with 84% kill participation in the, 25 kills they managed to get there in the game. So very good job from him, and only 9 wards placed, but the game wasn't that long, Rusty, so does that matter?
No point in buying wards when you know where you're going, right? Which is to the enemy top lane outer turret to kill Zapper over and over. I'd give an honourable mention to Shock here as well, because it was a duo that was roaming up there very successfully. And even to Claire for playing well from the very awkward start that he had, given all the pressure that was there, but Only definitely deserved that one.
He certainly did. Now, any thoughts on that one, Skimmy, before we move further?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of a case of Only welcoming Nakano to the LCO in a way, right? Kind of like, this is the difference between experience and a rookie coming into this one. He just basically made Xin Zhao look like a crap champ. So he was pretty much everywhere at once, right? They had a clear understanding mid-jungle, we're going to gank a lane. If it was top, if it was bot. Every single time that was on cooldown, they were finding success. And Gun Crab and Cupcake were kind of just like, sweet, we're just chilling. Maybe a few times it looked a little bit rough in their 2v2, but for the team as a whole, they had a clear understanding of what to play for, and they removed, the Gravitas WinCon.
Well, they certainly did. Now, what I need you guys to do as well, quickly, while we're going to a break, make sure you go and follow everyone on the socials. I know that there's a lot of players here in the LCO, but find all their Twitters, Go follow them right now. That's your job, and all the teams as well if you're not already following them. And when we get back then, and only then after you've followed everyone, including everyone here on the desk, all the players, all the teams, then you get to see Pentanet in peace. And I know that's what you guys want to see. So after this break, you'll be getting that.
Skirmishes. As the pressure continues to mount topside. Once again, it's a nice little stun. There's a TP from Mikio, so he's trying to make it a fair fight, but it's not going to be a 3v2 as Divals rock up once again. Shock is here. Safa trying to be a hero. And he takes down one with him, but it's Kyosa that picks up the killing blow again. There's the funded, there's the mitigation, there's the chance to try and get another empowered W. Oh, the bomb from bottom lane isn't going to be enough in this game. The two Nexus turrets are in their sight. There's the ulti from Safa, looking to try and be the hero play. He jumps in, but he falls on